I think we have to redo, because I think the microphone was on mute. So let's redo the opening. From the WDWL TV multiplex, live from Studio G, we proudly present the pride of the station, the Two Grumpies, starring the grumpy old man. Oh, that would be me. And, the tablet that decides to operate by itself. The grumpy vulture would like to take his bow now. Take your bow. There you go. Okay, back in your corner. I don't want to argue with you tonight. I got technical difficulties here with the tablet. Hey. Oh, the camera will see you. Don't worry about it there. Oh my God, this tablet. It's got a mind of its own. It's infected with some kind of demon. Oh, jeez. It does what it wants. You heard the intro start. I didn't even touch it. I think it's time for a new tablet. Well, I have a new tablet. I just don't have all the music uploaded in it yet. I guess that's something I should work on. Make a note for tomorrow. And first of all, old timer's disease kicked in again. Grumpy forgot the Gateway netbook. Oh. I go to start the stream, and I was like, okay, first thing I'm going to do is show the net book. Then I realized I put the netbook down to put on my gloves because I was going to the store. Did I pick the netbook back up and bring it with me? No. The netbook is sitting on the edge of my dresser, where my gloves were sitting. I put the netbook down, I put on the gloves, walked right out of the house to go to the store. I promise, tomorrow, the netbook will be here. I think I'm going to have to, do that backwards lettering on my head. Asshole, bring netbook. I remember to bring it. I had it plugged in on the charger. I unplugged it. And then I realized, well, it's kind of cold outside, and my hands get numb from the cold. So I put the netbook down. I put on the gloves. And I was like, oh, where's my keys? Okay, got my keys. Out the door I went. And didn't realize until just now the netbook is still sitting at home on top of my dresser where my gloves were. Go ahead. Laugh. Call me a dumbass. Oh. Now, I might be talking out of turn here, but I believe subscriber number 53 could be my internet friend, Ned Flanders. If you are number 53, Ned, thank you. And the bird thanks you. Do you thank him? Yeah, the bird just said yes. I could be wrong, but I have the sneaking suspicion that my newest subscriber is Ned Flanders. 2 thumbs up, buddy. Shalom. Now, with that out of the way, I was sitting here doing some work here in the studio earlier, and I was like, I have a taste for soup. You know, this shit just pops into my head like a hey. And not any old soup, Progresso. And Progresso lentil. Oh my God. I've been eating progressive lentil soup since I was a little kid. I used to eat the real thing. Now, I'm not saying this isn't the real thing, but my grandmother made the best lentil soup on earth. I gotta watch where I touch. I have a bad habit of muting myself. As close to my grandmother's is Progresso. And I've been eating it for years. And then you know how you kind of are up to your eyebrows with soup in general. I haven't had a bowl of soup in probably a year. And today I'm sitting at the console here doing a few things. I was like, I have a taste for lentil soup. Progresso lentil. So I pull the sale ad from my corner store, and it happens to be 2 cans for $3. Whoa. Because, even, you know, back in the day, what was one of the cheapest meals that your parents would feed you? Like for lunch. You would have a bowl of tomato soup, and then you would have a grilled cheese sandwich. And I don't know about you, but there's nothing better than dipping a grilled cheese sandwich in tomato soup. It used to be one of the cheapest meals on earth. Now you got a can of soup, you know, $1.75 when it used to be like 20 cents. A loaf of bread, $3.85, and a pound of cheese, $5.99. Where did the cheap meals go to? Christ, even peanut butter and jelly is expensive. So I see this sale ad, 2 cans, $3. So I got me my lentil soup. Oh, that'll be dinner tonight. And another killer soup that Progresso makes. Personal opinion. Their French onion. Oh my God, I love their French onion. Then I notice, I'm looking through the multitude of flavors, and I see split pea with ham. Another one of my favorites. Then right next to it, split pea with bacon. Holy yachapuck. Bacon. Oh, I had to get a can. I had to, bacon. Because if all else fails, add bacon. I never saw split pea soup with bacon. I don't know. Maybe they've been making it for years. I just happened to spot it. It was like, split pea with ham, split pea with ham, split pea with bacon, split pea with... Whoop, back up, bacon. So, the sale is on for 2 more days. I will be going up and getting several more cans. Now here's the problem. Here's where the shit happens. I'll tell you right. I'll be eating soup for the next 2 or 3 weeks. And then I'll be, oh shit, I'm tired of soup already. I can't hit a happy medium. It's either go 100 miles an hour forward or not. Needless to say, I will be enjoying my Progresso soup. Then I just happened to turn around and I spot on this top shelf Snow Family Authentic New England Clam Chowder. I've never seen this brand before. It's supposed to be family made. So I was like, I like clam chowder. I like New England clam chowder. I pull the can down, and it states on the back, take 1 can and either mix with whole milk or half and half. I'm thinking, holy shit, can you imagine the flavor that will come out of that soup, mixing it with half and half? It'll just add that extra kick. So, I get a can to try it, and then I go back to the dairy section, and I get a quart of milk, which I needed, and a quart of half and half. I will let you know about this family-made soup. The label is just red ink on white paper. Nothing fancy, got a picture of a clam. I would hope so. I have to read up on this. Whether I don't know whether this is a new item that they're carrying, whether it's been there all along. It couldn't have been there because I've looked over. I shop at this store 2-3 times a week. I almost could shop it with my eyes closed. So I will let you know about this clam chowder. Although Progresso, they make a pretty decent one, but I'm willing to go out on a limb with this one. So I'm standing in line, and as the cashier is ringing my items, she mentioned something about she heard of a brand of cigarettes that she never heard of before. And I says, well, what cigarettes? She said, I think the customer called them Silvatins. I was like, oh my God, I remember those cigarettes. They were a little thinner than regular. And they had a silver filter. Not the brown like normal or white, silver. And their commercials always had like a secret agent, with the fancy sunglasses and the trench coat, smoking them like looking around the corner of a building. Yeah. And then the customer behind me, who had to be roughly the same age, he said, there's certain brands of cigarettes I haven't even heard mentioned anymore. He said, I used to smoke Chesterfield. I said, I haven't seen Chesterfield in ages. And then he said another one, Old Gold. I said, there's another one. So we're chatting about cigarettes while he's checking out. So I stepped over to the area where the shopping carts are, and him and I had about a 20-minute talk, a nice chat. I've never met the guy before, talking about all the brands of cigarettes that we no longer hear of anymore. he mentioned Barclays. I said, oh, God, yeah, I think Barclays were the ones, they were half tobacco and half dried lettuce. I could be wrong on that one, but I remember there was a cigarette that was. And then he said, do you remember Terryton's? I said, oh, yeah, Terryton's. I loved their commercials. He said, yeah, the person always had a black eye. And I said, yeah. And if there happened to be a black person smoking this Terryton cigarette, he had a white patch under his eye because they would rather fight than switch. Oh my God, I had the best discussion with him, and we just kept throwing out different brands of cigarettes that we don't hear of anymore. Like, he mentioned Alpine. Alpine was big back in the 70s. No Alpines anymore. They just disappeared. One of the nicest guys I ever wanted to chat with. Him and I got along like we had been friends for years. You know, people, I really enjoy those type of conversations where the person you're talking with gives you that impression that your old friends meeting again. Like, you know, you knew each other maybe 30 years ago and then you reconnected. And it was over cigarettes. And he remembered certain commercials. I remembered certain commercials. And these commercials were commercials that we watched back like in the 50s and 60s. It just flowed like we'd known each other for years. I really enjoyed it because we got to talking about Chesterfield. And he said, yeah, Chesterfield used to sponsor Jack Benny, Show of Sows. And it was a girl that had a giant cigarette pack. She was a dancing cigarette pack, and it said, you know, Chesterfield cigarettes. She would be dancing on stage. I says, you know, as corny as that was, back in the day, we took it serious. Now we look at it like a dancing pack of cigarettes. In a way, I miss cigarette commercials. I really do. You know, it never fails. The government gets involved and, you know, like Winston. They used to sponsor NASCAR. Oh my God. And you the gear that you used to get, or what do they call it today? Swag. I have gotten more items, NASCAR associated Winston items. One of these days I'll bring the shirt in. I've got a NASCAR Winston shirt that I know has got to be a collector's item. I wish I wouldn't have worn it, but oh God, the let's get with it. The swag that you used to get from cigarette manufacturers back in the day. Oh, geez. And then there was something he had forgotten about. And I asked him, I said, do you grow up in Cleveland? He said, yeah, I grew up on the Lower West Side. I says, remember on Public Square, cigarette reps would give out samples of cigarettes, and they'd be these little tiny 4-packs. He says, oh, God, yes. He says, I used to walk in circles on Public Square to end up with, 30, 40 of them 4-packs. I said, so did I. I worked downtown during the 70s. I would do the same thing. Matter of fact, the girl would say, here, why don't you just take a handful instead of having them walk in circles? There you go. Because they wanted to get rid of all them cigarettes. But yeah, they made little 4-packs. You would get, Newports or Winston, and it would be a little tiny flip top 4-pack of cigarettes. They would hand them out, here you go. Not today. Oh, my God. But you would get all kinds of neat goodies. Same thing, drug companies. Oh, my God, the stuff that drug companies used to give away. Pens, pencils, keychains, letter opener, you name it. That was a no-no, too. Big Pharma, no. I have got a drawer full of pens with different drug companies on there. And the shit they gave away wasn't cheap crap either. Some of those are nice Schaefer pens. But because it's got a drug on it, no. Can't give that shit away no more. No. But yeah, I can remember before the shit hit the fan, if my doctor was going to prescribe something, he had samples. He'd say, here, try this for a month and let me know if you have, any ill side effects. And he'd give me a bag of samples. That's a no-no, too. Oh, no. And, I argued this point several times. There's nothing worse than getting a new prescription. And prescriptions aren't cheap. Believe me, I pay enough. The old Big Pharma gets a good chunk of money out of my wallet every month. You get a prescription. Say it's 60 tablets. You got to take 2 a day. Prescriptions $50, $60, $70. After a week, you're having nasty side effects from this shit. And the doctor said, don't take any more of them. What are you going to do with them? You can't return them. No. You can't. EPA said you can't flush them because that shit will get in the water. You can't throw them away because that shit will get in the landfill and contaminate the earth. What do you do with them? You're stuck with a prescription you can't take. You're not supposed to throw them out. You're not supposed to flush them. What do you do with them? They sit in your medicine cabinet. And you just put a big X on it. Don't take these. That's money wasted. But Big Pharma don't give a fuck. Hey, you paid for them. We got your money. We're making our payment on our new Rolls Royce or Lamborghini, But getting back to my store chat, it was a friendly chat, like him and I had grown up together. That stuff kind of really doesn't happen much anymore today. People don't talk to people. But he just happened to chime in with the cigarette talk that we were having, me and the cashier. And then I stepped aside and we just kept talking like we'd been buddies for ages. I really enjoyed that. I wish I would have, got more information. I got his name, Mike. Now, I'm not saying that him and I could sit down every single day and have a chat like that, but it just flowed. Like I say, like we'd been old friends that ran into each other again. Not to mention, it brought back a lot of memories of my childhood seeing these cigarette commercials on TV. There was nothing neater than watching John Wayne light up a Chesterfield cigarette. The typical cowboy and everything out on the plains smoking a Chesterfield. And big stars they smoked on TV all the time. I can remember watching old Carson shows. Everybody on the panel was smoking. As a matter of fact, Johnny never did quit. He kept an ashtray on a little table behind him, and when they go to commercial, he'd light up. And every now and then, you would see the smoke from the cigarette. Because the little fan that they had to blow the smoke away wasn't aimed right. Oh, yeah, Johnny smoked up until he retired from the show. And drink. They used to. I remember he had Buddy Hackett, Dean Martin. Oh, God, who else was on the panel that night? Buddy Hackett and Dean Martin. Oh, my God, I can't remember the other two. But it was hilarious because Buddy Hackett was in the chair next to Johnny's desk. And he had already talked to the other guests. And, they would sit down on the couch with Ed McMahon. And Buddy Hackett had a mixed drink. They all had drinks, but Buddy Hackett he was holding the drink and turned facing Johnny. And Dean Martin and the other guests that were flicking their cigarette ashes in his drink, and he didn't see it. And then Johnny spotted it, so he kept Buddy Hackett facing him. And they kept flicking their ashes in. And then finally, Buddy didn't even look. There was a little pause in the conversation. He took a drink and never realized that it was full of cigarette ashes. And everybody roared on the panel, and Buddy was like, "What's the joke?" And then Johnny said, "Check your drink, buddy." And he's like, "Oh my God, I've been drinking out of that glass." But everybody, back before it was banned on TV, everybody smoked. Jack Benny'd come out, smoking. And then, of course, George Burns always had a cigar. But up until the FCC said, no, can't do that anymore, it was nothing to see everybody come out and They'd be sitting on Carson's panel smoking. I'll never forget the night Johnny Carson had Betty Davis on. And she asked him for a cigarette. And Johnny said, "You smoke?" And she said, "Hell yeah, baby." And Johnny always had a cigarette box on his desk. He had a little box with the cigarettes. He handed a cigarette and lit it for her. People were shocked to see Betty Davis smoking a cigarette on TV. It was just a different time. Before the damn government got involved in it. Government ruined everything. You can't smoke on TV, but you can drink a beer on TV. You can drink whiskey on TV. Yeah. What's the difference? 9 times out of 10, if you're sitting in a bar drinking a beer, you're smoking a cigarette. But no, you can't smoke on TV. Oh, that's a no-no. Alcohol is just as bad. But yet, look at all the beer commercials on TV. People drinking a beer. Showing parties, people drinking beer, wine. You know, here. Have you tried this rosé? You know, oh, that's pretty tasty. Alcoholism is one of the biggest ailments that people have. If you're not allowed to smoke on TV, you shouldn't be allowed to drink. Like that one commercial I see for some distillery. Old Smoke Me. As a matter of fact, I think he's an ex-football player that owns it. Matter of fact, they sell it old moonshine style in a mason jar. Yeah, you don't go in to get a fancy bottle. Their moonshine is in a mason jar, like you used to get back in the day when the moonshiners were running hooch during Prohibition. They put it in mason jars. Although I would love to have one of those clay crock jugs that they used to have. You know, they pop the cork and put it over their shoulder and take a swig. I would love to have one of those real whiskey containers. Well, moonshine containers. Yeah, here we were in a store. Two old farts talking about old cigarettes. What a conversation to have. Although, it was great because there were no politics involved. We were just talking about old brands of cigarettes. Like we had been buddies for ages. It was one of my more enjoyable trips to the store. I'll say that. And it all started because Grumpy had a taste for soup. Progresso. Lentil. Well, I got others. Got the French onion. Oh, I can't wait to have that. And the nice thing about Progresso, you open the can, you pour it in the pan, throw the can away. That's it. None of this add water, add this, add that. You feel like a goddamn chemist. Let's see, add 6 ounces of water. Oh my God, it was 6.5. I ruined the soup. No, you just open the can and pour it in. There it is. Heat it up, pour it in a bowl, done. You don't even have to heat it on the stove. Pour it in a bowl, put it in the microwave. Why dirty up a pan? Cut the pan right out. Put it in a bowl, put it in the microwave. 2 minutes, 2.5, done. That's the one, I'll tell you what. Best invention they ever came out with. Microwave saves so much cleanup. Because back in the day, you'd pour the soup in a pan and then put the soup in a bowl. Then you had to wash the bowl and the pan. Now, you just have to wash the bowl. Pan, not needed. Same thing with leftovers. Pop them on a plate, microwave, zap, dinner's done. I've been seeing a commercial for these pre-prepped dinners. I think it's called Factor. They're not frozen. They ship you a month's worth of dinners. All you have to do is microwave them. When you get to day 30, how fresh is that meal? Because it's not frozen. Keep them in the fridge. At day 30, is that meal going to be as yummy as day 1? I kind of doubt it. Because they say, oh, no preservatives, none of this, healthy, healthy. How can you keep something for 30 days in a fridge and it not be like kind of on the nasty side? Just saying. But I've seen this commercial over and over and over and over. That's another one. Something fresh. Healthy fresh or fresh healthy or something like that. Now, some of the meals you have to cook, you have to prepare. But they also have pre-made, not frozen. Just put them in the fridge. I know what leftovers are like after 2 weeks. I don't know if I'd want to be eating that last meal on day 30. Kind of scares me. I haven't researched it. All the haters are going to be like, grumpy, I'm just saying. How can these meals stay that fresh? I guess I have to read up on it. I'd say I'll make myself a note, but making myself a note don't... like what? We going on day 4 with the netbook now? Yeah, I can't believe that. I was like, I need my gloves. Put it down. Uh-oh. That ain't looking good. Hold on, peoples. I'm having a little problem with the tablet. Hey. Stand by. There we go. Was telling me battery low, 13%. See, that's another reason I got to get that other tablet up and running. this thing works great, except the battery is, well, Christ, the battery's 15 years old. I wish I could replace the battery, but you can't on a tablet. They're all sealed up. Now, I could probably send it in, take it to a repair shop. They charge me more than what it's worth. Although, to me, it's worth a lot. Let's hope I get enough charge to run the outro. %. I started out at 80. See, that's what I do. Well, I had to play the intro twice, but yeah, that's how fast the battery depletes on that tablet. And I've got the other one here. Instead of watching videos during the day, I should be uploading the music from old tablet to new tablet. I get sidetracked easily. You go in that vicious circle. You know, when you're a little kid, you get sidetracked easily. You know, your parents would tell you, go clean your bedroom. You'd start cleaning your bedroom, go, oh, I never finished reading that comic. You start reading the comics, then you hear, are you cleaning in there? Yeah. You start cleaning again. Then you pick up a book, you know. Oh, I never finished reading that last chapter. You start reading it. Are you cleaning in there? Yeah. Well, that's the way it gets when you become a senior. You pull out the tablet and go, oh, I have to transfer music to the new tablet. And then you're like, whoa, I haven't seen that video before. You start watching YouTube. Then by the time you're done watching YouTube, it's too late to transfer music from one tablet to the next. Don't ever get old, friends. You get old and you start having conversations about old cigarettes in grocery stores. But it was an enjoyable conversation. I'm going to have to look into it. Did they stop making Chesterfields? Did they stop making Viceroys? Did they stop making Old Gold? Or is it in certain areas they don't sell, so they don't carry them? I know it's supply and demand. And of course, the people that were smoking Chesterfields are now taking that dirt nap. So they're not buying Chesterfields anymore. So a store goes, gee, old Harry hasn't been in for his Chesterfields in a long time. I'm going to stop carrying them. And then you get some old fart like me that comes in and goes, you have any Chesterfields or Viceroys or Old Golds? And they look at you like, are those new? Yeah. You get a youngster, all right, 21, 22, I'm youngsters. And you mention them cigarettes and they look at you like, is that something new? My cigarette rep didn't mention those. No, those cigarettes are older than me. They just don't sell, evidently. I guess I'm going to have to start gargling tomorrow. Chesterfield King, Chesterfield, Old Gold, Viceroy. See if they still make them. Although, if they still make them, I'm not going to drive 50 miles to go buy a pack to see if I like them. Speaking of driving, the end of the month, I'm getting a new primary care doctor. So his receptionist said, would you like to be put on a list in case we get a cancellation to get an earlier appointment? I said, oh, yes. Now, mind you, he's at the hospital that is 15 minutes away. Okay? I get an email today. No, text message. We have an appointment on the 15th at 1:30. Would you like it? I almost clicked yes. The appointment is at another hospital 30 miles away. I click decline. Now I know what's going to happen. I'm going to get calls saying, you wanted to be put on the list. Yeah. For an appointment at this hospital. Not one in Bumfuck, Egypt. It's winter. I don't like driving in winter, let alone to drive 30 miles. I don't think so. See, this was one of the main reasons for getting a new primary care doctor. Because my current one is 20 miles away. Why should I drive 20 miles when I can get a new doctor that's 15 minutes away, not miles? The only thing I hate about getting a new doctor, they want to run every fucking test in history. I don't need all them tests. But, oh yeah, I can see. I'm going to go meet him. Hi, doc. When's the last time you had this? When's the last time you had that? When's the last? Well, you've got my medical chart. Why ask me? And then it's like, well, we're going to have to run this test, and we're going to have to run this test, and we're going to have to run that test. And I don't think so. Check my heart. Check my blood pressure. Do I sound healthy? Good. We don't need to run all them tests. Oh, yeah, they'll want blood work, and they'll want, a gallon of urine. He'll want to stick his finger up my ass. Yeah, the old bend over. Oh, we don't need all that. Look at my chart. But that's the problem with getting a new doctor. They don't want to go by all that information. They want to run all this shit. Yeah. Sorry. When it comes to all them tests, it's no, and no. If my blood pressure's okay, if my heart's beating okay, my lungs sound okay, good. That's all we need to know. Yeah, I can see it now. They want to take a gallon of blood, and I got a problem with that. I've had trypanophobia since I was like 6 years old. And you tell a doctor, I got trypanophobia. It's not on the chart. When were you tested for that last? Come at me with a fucking needle and you'll find out. It's amazing how many doctors don't know what the fuck I can't even say it. Trypanophobia is. Then you have to explain it. It's the fear of needles. And oh boy, was chemotherapy fun. Yeah. They come at you with a garden hose. Yeah, like a 20 gauge needle. That's one of the largest ones they make. And they want to stick one in each hand just to have fun. Oh, he squirmed on the first one. Let's make him squirm on another one. Then, after that, after you have your treatment, a couple days later, you have to go get stuck with another needle. And then after you get stuck with that one, a couple days later, you get stuck with another one. Because, they got to do blood work. How many ways are you going to torture me? The first time I went in for my chemo, I told the nurse, if this hurts, you're going to have a problem. She said, oh, you're an adult. I said, yes, I'm an adult with trypanophobia. And she looked at me like I had some contagious fucking African disease. What? You have what? Gargle it, sweetheart. Take your tray of needles and your pumps, set them aside, and gargle it. I'm not going to explain it. Then she come back in and she's like, I will be as gentle as possible. You better be. Because if I feel it, you got a problem. But she was good. Matter of fact, she put some shit on my hand. A topical anesthetic. Here's somebody that gargled what they were supposed to. Yeah. All I felt was a little tiny pinprick. I said, you will be my nurse forever. Except when I went for the blood test. She goes, oh, don't be a baby. You better gargle something, sweetheart. Don't be a baby. Yeah. She had the nerve to say that. Oh, don't be a baby. If she knew what I went through with a needle at age 6, she would understand. But I'm not going to explain my history to every goddamn person that comes at me with a needle. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. Yeah, what do they call them? I call them Dracula. What are they, philanthropist? Something like that. Needle stickers. Don't be a baby. If it bothers you that much, look the other way. Seeing it isn't the problem. Feeling it is the problem. Don't be a baby. Well, I'll tell you what. When you get done sticking me, let me stick you. How's that? We don't do things like that here. You're not a certified philanthropist. Oh, really? Well, certified or not. You want to feel it? Just make me feel it. I should carry my own needles. Say, yeah, you got yours? Aha, I got mine. Let's see who sticks each other better. Yeah. I just love seeing that. Get an email from the doctor. You have to go see the philanthropist to get a blood test. Why don't you go for me, Doc? Yeah. I can't believe you. Don't be a baby. I can be a baby if I want. You're sticking me. I'm not sticking you. Oh, yeah, we have some good conversations when I have to go in for any kind of needle work. Don't be a baby. And then you would think they have to go through school to get their degree, right? They learn all this medical terminology, except trypanophobia. I would think if you're going to be in that line of work, you should know what that means. Don't look at me like I've got jungle rot or leprosy. Oh, the one backed up the one that you got what? I said, gargle it. Pull out your fancy iPhone 16 Pro Max and ask sorry what that means. And then after sorry tells you, then we'll discuss getting stuck with a needle. Don't be a baby. Needless to say, I don't use her anymore. I go in for my appointment and I ask, is so-and-so here? No. Okay. And then they're like, what's the big deal? Her and I don't agree on a few things. We'll just put it that way. She doesn't know how to talk to sorry on her iPhone. I'm not embarrassed that I've been that way since I was 6. And it don't get any better with age. They say, oh, with age everything gets better. No. Not when it comes to getting stuck with a needle. That same thing. The doctor, oh, you're due for your flu shot. I don't think so. Oh, you're due for this. I don't think so. They'll prescribe medication. First thing I say, is this oral? Why, yes. Okay. Finish writing the prescription. Because if it says by injection, I don't need that medication that bad. Thank you. And this new doctor's going to want to give me a bunch of shit. I can see it, you know. Oh, you're due for this vaccine, and you're due for this, and this. Does it say needle behind all of those? Why, yes. Forget it. I don't need them. I'll take my chances. Thank you. Because they always have needles that are like this long. You know, they can't have the little, oh no. We're going to give you a flu shot. It's a 6-inch needle. goes in this shoulder, comes out this side. No, thank you. Why do you need a needle that long when one that long could do the same job? See, the little tiny ones, they don't hurt that bad. You don't feel them. It's them big, you know, the one that goes all the way into the bone. Oh, yeah, that was another good one. When they needed a sample of bone marrow, do you get anesthetic? No. And you can feel him. What are you using, a Black & Decker over there on my hip? Jesus Christ, Doc. I think somewhere in the Hippocratic Oath it said, doctors should do no harm, but you can torture a patient now and then. Yeah. You can tell Grumpy doesn't really like doctors. Now, I have some great doctors. All the great ones don't use needles. Like my pain management doctor, oh, him and I are buddies. My ENT, oh, him and I are buddies. My eye doctor, her and I are buddies. Now, when it came to the Cadillac surgery that I had, that was a little scary. Especially considering you're awake. Yeah. Because as the doctor is doing surgery on your eye, he has to talk to you. Like, do you see this color? What color is it? Red. What's the next color? Green. And I could see them fucking instruments going towards my eye. And you can't move. That is some scary shit when they do Cadillac surgery. Now, surgery was wonderful. I got a perfect correction on both eyes. I don't even need these. Just for reading. But that's some scary fucking surgery. When you're awake and you can see the fucking instruments going towards your eye. Yeah. But he was a good... Now, me and the anesthesiologist, we had a... I told him, you got topical anesthetic in that carry-all you got there? He said, well, yes. Use it. Oh, you won't feel it. He starts this shit. I'm going to feel it. No matter how hard you beat on my hand. You better put some shit on there. So he was like, oh, okay. And then, I didn't feel it. Do what Grumpy asks, and you and I can be friends. Otherwise, while you're sticking the needle in my hand, I will have your balls in my hand. You get what I'm talking about, Doc? You see where I'm coming from? You will have my hand and a needle. I will have this other hand and your balls. If you would like to keep them, I won't feel anything in this hand. Are we on the same page now? Oh, yes, Mr. Grumpy. Don't worry. That's the way I have to handle things with these goddamn people with needles. And it works most of the time. Then other times, don't be a baby. Oh, she pissed me off with that. Oh, little indignant little prissy bitch. Don't be a baby. You're not sticking yourself. You're sticking me. I'll be as big a baby as I want to be. Got it? Prissy little bitch. Well, I didn't call that to her face, but I thought it. Give me that look. Don't be a baby. She doesn't know how close she came to having my back of my hand go across her chops. Here, try this. Are we on the same page now? Yeah. Can I get an ice pack, please? While you're sticking me in the arm. Oh, she made it real gentle. But I don't trust her anymore. So when I have to go in, first thing I ask, is so-and-so working today? Yes? Are there more than one philanthropist working today? Yes? I'll wait for the other one. Thank you. But she's not doing anything right now. I don't care. Is there another patient behind me? Why, yes. Good. Send that one in to her. I'll wait for the other one. And then I have the same conversation with the other one. You're not going to hurt me now, are you? And don't tell me not to be a baby. Oh, I'd never say that to you, Mr. Grumpy. Good. Don't hurt me either. Yeah, it's sad when you learn all this medical terminology. Go to medical school, get your degree, standing there with your diplomat in your hand, that fancy thing on your head with the tassel on it. And then you say, trypanophobia. And they're like, what the fuck have you got? Don't come near me. Wait a minute, I gotta get a gown and a mask. It's not contagious. Talk to Sari on your cell phone. She'll tell you what it is. Yeah, they look at you. Huh? What? Stay away from me. Then she yells out in the hall, can I have a gown and a mask? Gloves up to here, please. You got a cell phone? Is it an iPhone? Good. Ask Sari what it is before you call for a gown and a mask and gloves up to here. Then they come in and laugh. Oh, come on, you're a big boy. No, I'm a grumpy old man. Don't hurt me. Got it? So, now you know a little inside personal information about the grumpy old man. He can be a real bastard, except when you come at him with a needle. You could pull a gun on me, I'd be like, yeah. And what are you going to do with that? Come at me with a needle, it's like, okay, I'll bend over and assume the position. been like that since age 6. One day I'll tell the story. I don't feel like telling it right now because it brings up some bad memories. And I'd rather eat my soup happily, not crying. See, back in the 50s, things were way different. And I'll just leave it at that. And maybe tomorrow I'll tell you the story. But it wasn't like today. And I don't care how many lasers sharpen that fucking. Oh, yeah, I get that shit. Oh, you won't even feel it. It's laser sharpened. Okay, I tell you what. Let me go out and get a taser. And the taser points are laser sharpened. Let's see which one hurts more. I bet they change their attitude real fast. Yeah, I'll never forget. An anesthesiologist told me that one day. I'm going in for a certain tree. And he goes, "Oh, all these new needles are laser sharpened." Oh, you mean the guy with the file isn't working on them anymore? Oh no. They sharpened them in a factory with a high-powered laser. Yeah. It's still a needle. You won't feel a thing. Oh, yes, I will. Yeah, maybe that'll be the topic for tomorrow night. How Grumpy got trypanophobia. Oh, I can feel the bad memories coming back already. Oh. That was a sad day. A real sad day. Let me see if we're charged up enough to play the outro. What do we got? Oh boy, 17%. I'll just barely get through it. Here we go. We're going to try it. I don't know if 17% will be enough to get us through. But we're going to try. Here we go. So far, so good. Oh, I hate when the yellow battery is showing. That's bad news. Yeah, we'll meet again right here. Maybe a different studio tomorrow. CEO's starting to get pissed off. I keep using Studio G. I told him I like this studio. We'll see. Where's my clicker? And with that, friends, Grumpy and the Bird bid you a wonderful evening and hope you have a good rest of your evening.